Hey everybody, it's Emily bringing you another Grass River microclass on a beautiful day out at the natural area. Got a couple of gnats flying around me, but it wouldn't be spring if they weren't here, right? So today what I want to talk about is the songs of thrushes. And if you're not familiar with thrushes, they're just a family of bird that actually includes some of our most well-known birds in the eastern U.S., like American robins and eastern bluebirds. But they also include some other more cryptic or secretive birds that you might not be familiar with. So we'll talk about why the song of thrushes is so special, and we'll get to know those 4 more secretive species of thrushes and their songs today. Alright, so a little bit of background on bird vocalizations. So birds vocalize through a complex organ called a syrinx, sort of akin to our larynx or voice box, but it operates in a little bit of a different way. Basically, birds pass oxygen through these membranes in the syrinx that vibrate, and that's what creates the beautiful sounds. So bird syrinxes are located in different places along their respiratory tract, along their trachea, and where their bronchi, where the 2 tubes of the trachea branch off and go to the lungs. But all songbirds, all of their syrinxes are located right at that juncture, right where the trachea branches into the 2 bronchi, so it's sort of an upside down Y shape. So thrushes, however, are even better singers than many other songbirds because they can actually control the 2 sides of their syrinx independently, which means that they can be singing one note out of one side, out of one bronchi, and another note out of the other bronchi, and they can harmonize with themselves in what's called an internal duet. And that produces some of these really ethereal, really sort of like mysterious, magical songs in the thrush family. Robins and bluebirds don't do it so much. They don't have quite the vocalization capabilities that those 4 other more secretive thrushes I was talking about do. So let's learn our first thrush. The first one is going to be the wood thrush, and by the way, the vocalizations that I'll be playing for you, they come from an excellent website. You might already know about it. If you don't, it's definitely worth checking out. It is run by the Cornell Lab of Ornithology, and it's just allaboutbirds.com, and it's a great bird identification resource. Alright, I said allaboutbirds.com. I meant allaboutbirds.org. Allaboutbirds.org. Okay, so wood thrushes. This is one that a lot of people are familiar with. They're quite common throughout deciduous forests all over the eastern U.S. And they're actually a pretty common target of scientific studies, so we know a lot about them. They are relatively brown, kind of cinnamon colored on the top, and they've got a nice white breast with these very bold black spots. And wood thrushes sing a very flute-like song that many people describe as eolay or eolele. So let's listen to that right now. Alright, next we've got the hermit thrush, which lives in a variety of habitats across the northern U.S. And into the western mountains, and also into Canada, well into Canada. And it looks similar to the wood thrush, but it's less cinnamon and more just sort of a drab brown on top, and then those black spots on its breast are less bold. Less of a contrast between them and the breast. And the hermit thrush's song basically is just one single clear note followed by some harmonizing ethereal spiraling. And I once had a teacher tell me to remember that that is the song of the hermit thrush, based on the fact that it's a hermit, and so it lives by itself. It just lives, party of one, and so it's got that one introductory whistle followed by the spiraling. So let's listen for that right now. Next is our Swainson's thrush, which you can find across a similar range to the Hermit Thrush, so that more northern range. But this one prefers coniferous forests as opposed to the Hermit Thrush existing in a wide variety of habitats. And it looks very similar to her other thrushes, but it doesn't have that cinnamon undertail parts. It's basically just all drab brown on the back. And it's got even less bold spots, more brownish spots as opposed to black. And its face has some buffier parts to it, and it's got a nice buffy eye ring. But otherwise pretty unremarkable, and its song sounds basically identical to the Hermit Thrush, minus that first introductory whistle. So just spiraling, sort of upward spiraling flute-like, really ethereal, really, really beautiful. So last but not least, we have the Veery, which inhabits New England, the upper Midwest, and into the northern Rockies. This one loves to live in rich woods near rivers and streams, so in a little bit of those wetter areas. It looks very similar to our other thrushes, but it's smaller, and it doesn't have any of this, almost no spotting on the breast. This one, I like to think of its song being sort of the opposite of the Swainson's thrush. The Veery's song spirals down as opposed to the Swainson's thrush spiraling up. I once heard somebody say that it sounds like something going down, like spiraling around and down a toilet bowl. So listen for that, see if you can hear it. And those are our 4 forest thrushes that we have here in northern Michigan. A great time to listen for them is early in the morning, but also they are one of the only birds that sings prolifically in the evening, sort of right before dusk, so you can hear them then too. All right, thanks for joining me on this Grass River microclass. Have a great week, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye.